Hello, welcome to another Starcraft 2 beta commentary. I am your host WTii and I am bringing you this 1v1 on the map Kulas Ravine. It's myself as the red Protoss versus Nestoor as the blue Zerg. Okay, now what we notice here is straight off I'm sending a probe up. Now what I'm going to do is, as I send him up on this map, it's not too far out of my way to go check out the Selnaga Tower. That just gives me a little bit of range. I like to do that. I don't think it's really necessary to do that though right at the very start of the game, more when you sort of send off your probe after a pylon or whatnot, because you might catch an SCV or a probe or a drone that's going about. But it's very unlikely to catch one right at the start of the game. So as I reach 9 food, it's a good time to put down a pylon. I feel like that's a good place because you can't see in the side of the bushes from the outside of the bushes. So why not? Here we see he's sending off a little scout and my probe is looking around his base. I do not see a spawning pool, so I'm going to just carry on scouting his base as we can see the little patrol routes and see when that spawning pool is going to pop up. Meanwhile I'm going to go for economy myself, using chrono boost all the time on the probes whenever I can. And here we go, an extractor for the Zerg before he's built anything else. This is rather odd. I'm not used to this. This is my first Zerg enemy of the day, so yeah, this is one of the things that have caught me out during this game, that's for sure. What does a Zerg go extractor for first? I don't know. Anyway, the spawning pool finally goes down. What's he got? He's only got 12 food at the moment. 13 food. I suppose that's a reasonable time for a spawning pool. It just felt like he hadn't got one very early because I sent off my probe so early. Normally I would send off my probe after, say, the first pylon, but yeah, it just felt a bit weird to me that at that point. Anyway, as we can see, not much is happening right now. He's just got his extractor and his spawning pool, and what have I got? 2 assimilators have just gone up, so I could have gone for a push here by building gateways here, but I'm not confident about doing that against because usually it just backfires. It rarely works against Zerg, so that was one of the reasons why I didn't choose to use this pylon, because I could have proxy gated over here. I had perfect opportunity, but I decided to go for a high economy mass assimilator build, which would afford me many sentries, because I'm getting 2 gateways here, and then I'll get a cybernetics core afterwards and lots of sentries because I have lots of Thespian gas for it. And whatever else I can use the Thespian gas for. Assumably I would want to get myself a robotics bay and get myself immortals, because I feel that they would be handy with the sentries rather, because yeah, the sentries don't cost much minerals, but they do cost quite a lot of gas, and the immortals don't cost much gas considering how powerful they are, but they do cost a lot of minerals, so they both work together quite well. Now as I died with this probe, I noticed a spine crawler here. Unfortunately I didn't see him attacking the destructible rocks after I died, so yeah, I would have known what he was up to. But this is a very interesting move. It's surely not a bad thing to put a spine crawler down, because that will hold off any zealot attacks. Basically a spine crawler can take on quite a lot of zealots before it can go down. It's definitely been improved much more since the last time that spine crawlers used to be used to defend zealots, which was a couple of patches ago. When I remember Zerg players using their spine crawlers, it didn't work out too well for them. But now I daren't go and attack, because that spine crawler will wipe out all of my zealots, even if I had 20,000 of them. Not quite, but they are better. That was a really long-winded way to say that spine crawlers are better, wasn't it? What the hell? Anyway, yeah, we can see that's doing really good damage to that destructible rocks. It's almost down. So quite clearly he's going to want to get himself an expansion, and normally you would go here, but obviously taking out these destructible rocks, he would get a much safer bit at the cliff top here, because you need to destroy destructible rocks here, or go all the way around his base in order to get up to here. I decided to do a little bit of scout myself. What I do is, oh, I put a robotics facility here. I feel like I'm going to go for a push, I think, at this point. That's why I'm building. I've got myself hallucination, and then I'm going to get myself warp gate. So I'm going to focus on sentries. The sentries are going to hallucinate zealots, ideally, and the immortal is going to be sitting in between the sentries and the zealots doing good damage. That's the plan, at least. So yeah, that's my plan because I've got these two. Soon I'll be able to warp in units to my proxy pylon. And never mind, that went wrong. He managed to find it. Pretty much because he must have scouted this bit, which he did. He's got a little circling by that cell nugget tower, which allowed him to see the pylon there and destroy it. That's what really messed me up, because now I'm down on food count. This is really messed me up. The sentries are so slow. The speed, everything just went right for him at this point. I can't explain how screwed over I got at that point, really. You got to see it, but his Zerglings just upgraded their what is it, their little wings thing, which gives them 20% extra speed, which allowed them to catch up with the sentries. If they hadn't have got that at that point, I might have been able to get those sentries back, save myself 100 minerals and 200 Thespian gas. In fact, I lost another sentry as well, I think, so really I got quite highly screwed over at this point, so I haven't got much to keep myself alive. The robotics facility is going to have to be built at my base. I'm going to have to rely on a bit of micro and good use of force field to keep myself alive. I trap the little Zerglings in, which allows my sentries to attack them, and whilst I keep the roaches at bay, because they've only got like free range. Yes, so the force fields will keep the roaches back. That allows me to take out the Zergling threat, but there still leaves all these roaches, which isn't too good for me. So yeah, they're doing some heavy focus fire on that gateway. Look at the damage they do. Look at that go down. Clunk. Clunk. There you go. They are pretty damn nasty, roaches. Certainly not the most skilled unit, I'll give you that. Here I see a good opportunity to trap him, so I give him a little gap, just so he can spaz about. He has to run away here. I don't know if I had enough energy. I had one more energy, maybe for another force field at that point, I'm not sure. Either way, I'm going to be able to repel this attack, but I have lost some buildings and pylons and whatnot, and a couple of units I believe myself, but not much. If I'm careful enough with the micro, then I can basically save myself. At this point I thought, wow, I really handled that well. But this is where macro is more important than micro, to be quite frank, because quite clearly he's got himself an expansion here. He's ahead of me on drone counts to probes, and pretty soon he's going to be getting himself some Utilisks by the looks of it, because he's got himself a Spire. So this is the point where I think, I'm going to go counter-attack. I've got my sentries, I've got an immortal. Let's get a light hold outside of his base and then see what I can do. Really, I wish I scouted this point, because I didn't know he actually had that expansion up there. I can't see the creep from the bottom, and it doesn't spill out underneath, so there's no way to know. Here's another opportunity to kill some extra units. I lose a pylon, but I take out the Zerglings. Woo! Never mind. Anyway, yeah, what I should have done is I should have built an observer at the very start. I already said this before in one of my videos. Always build an observer first. Well, I didn't. And I pay the price for it because I did not know he had that expansion. If I built the observer, I would have known he had the expansion. I would have gone through these destructible rocks and come at him from an easier angle for me, and possibly really turn this game round. Even more for my sake, because right now I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling, well, I just really owned a lot of his units back then and barely lost anything myself. I surely must be ahead here. But little do I know that he's had that expansion for a long time now. So really, I'm actually sort of still behind, even though I won that fight. This is a bad position to be in. The little Zerglings come in, they're so fast, I want to try and stop them. I've got to put down some force fields. That's not good. I accidentally take out one of my immortals. I haven't even got enough sentries to take out all of those Mutalisks, so everything was going to die anyway.